Welcome once again to yet another beautiful day, and of course, it's a beautiful show here at Humanist TV Africa. It is a brand new day, beautiful show here at Humanist TV Africa, where we reach out to humanity as our motto goes. My name is Katum Kasese. Of course, I'm Ugandan, interested in issues human rights and issues empowerment, and of course, issues humanism. And in the studio, of course, is Dennis Bongole, who does the production work with us. And we make sure that we reach out to you. Now, I want to remind you to please subscribe to our YouTube channel and our Facebook page. The name is Humanist TV Africa. Please, we encourage you to subscribe to it so that it can be able to propel us forward, to move us forward, to give us the energy to move forward. But also, you can write to us at Humanist TV Africa at proton.me. Write us to, the email is humanisttvafrica at proton.me. Now, why do you write to us? You want to work with us. Of course, you want more volunteers. Remember, we are an NGO. We are a non-for-profit organization. We don't work for profit. We work for humanity. We work for issues that people basically don't talk about. That's why we cannot be here to make profits. We are an NGO. We are NPO, non-for-profit organization. So we are looking for volunteers. Write to us. The email is humanisttvafrica at proton.me. We want volunteers throughout the world. Though we are Humanist TV Africa, but we are humans who are spread all over the world. If you're in the USA, you're in Canada, you are in the UK, you are in Australia, you are in Iceland, you are in Netherlands, you are everywhere, and you want to work with us. This is your TV. We are an online TV, but with studios in different countries so far. We have a studio in the UK, and of course, we have studios in Uganda. So far, we have 4 studios in Uganda. We have 2 studios in Nigeria, 2 studios in Kenya. We have a studio in Zambia. We have a studio in Zimbabwe. And we are growing every other day. We want to make a studio in Ethiopia, South Africa, and Rwanda, and of course, Tanzania. We are coming there. We are opening up more studios. We have virtual studios, but also physical studios in those countries I've mentioned. And we are opening more studios all over the world. This is Humanist TV Africa, and of course, we welcome you to yet a beautiful show. And today it is the Humanist interview where I'm going to be chatting with my sister, Phiona. Phiona, we are most welcome, Phiona.
Thank you, Mr. Kato.
Yes, Phiona, I'll, without wasting time, start right away. This is Humanist TV, Humanist Interviews. Of course, my guest is Ngabirwe Phiona, who's from Kasese, Uganda. Phiona, people have been watching you, those who watch you, have been seeing your posts. I know many people see your posts in silence and wonder who you are. Now, I want to begin with the beginnings. How do you define yourself? Who is Phiona Ngabirwe?
Phiona Ngabirwe, my name is a Ugandan based in Kasese, Western region. I'm a Munyankole, my tribe, and I'm a teacher. I teach at Kasese Humanist School the only humanist school in the region. And I've been there for 12 years, since 2012. After finishing college, I joined Kasese Humanist. Those are 12 years. And on top of that, I'm the chairperson of Bizarre Women Empowerment Center, a group of young mothers, girls, and old needy women. And on top of that, I'm a nanny, religious person. And I'm very proud to say that I'm not a religious, I'm a humanist, or some people can say atheist, the way they understand it, but all of them are showing that we are nanny believers. I'm happy to be with you, Kato, and share everything about me, about my work, about my career. Thank you.
So I'm very happy, and because I'm happy, I'm giving you part of my water with honey. I take water, honey, and lemon, so I'm passing it over to you. And of course, kudos to you and flowers to you today. Now, Phiona, it's very impressive, especially because I've visited your projects. I've seen you for a number of years. I've been observing you. I've come to your place of work. I know what you do. Now, people wonder, because it's rare to hear a lady in Uganda saying, I'm an atheist. I don't believe in these gods. Because honestly, in my country, our country, women are the biggest victims of religion. In fact, where I come from, there are many women in churches than men. Actually, men in my area go to drink alcohol than going to church. Now tell me, how was you growing up? Did you grow up in a religious family? How was it like growing up?
Thank you, Mr. Kato. My family, my background is a bit confusing. Like I'm going to say, I'm born in a polygamous family where my dad has more than 5 women. And my mom is the third wife. And if you see 5 women, wives, they are coming from different religions. My dad is an Anglican. My mom is a born again full gospel church, goes in the born again churches. And me, my journey of devotion was like this. And through growing up, my father brought a maid who was a Catholic. So we are like now we are having 3 religions in the family: born again, Catholic as a maid, and my mom being a born again and my dad being an Anglican. So those are three religions in the family. And me as a young girl, I used to follow our maid, because it was there to take care of us. So every Sunday we would go to Catholics. Though I was baptized an Anglican. Then another Sunday you phone mom to full gospel, born again church. So on Christmas, my dad would say, no, the whole family should go to Anglican church, that is Church of Uganda. So there are 3 religions. So we grew up, then I joined primary level. I was in church school, that is Church of Uganda. After P7, I went to secondary school, that is Aisha Girls. Of course, when you hear Aisha Girls, that is a staunch Muslim school. When you are not an Islam, you are not allowed. But because the school had standard, and my dad wanted to trim a girl to go and have those behaviors of putting on things, what. So going in an Islam school, you must follow what Islamic do. For example, going for prayers every Friday, praying 5 times a day, fasting. Sometimes they would force us to fast. So those are 4 years in Islam school, coming back and go to other different religions. So after senior 4, then I joined the college, that is Canon Apollo, PTC. Of course, when you hear Canon Apollo, that is a staunch Anglican college. So now I've gone to college from Islam. I'm now back to Anglican. Now every Sunday it was a must to go to church. So every evening prayers were the must. So through that journey, I had my friend Gloria was a Catholic. So on Sundays, they will say that everyone should go to his or her religion. To me, since my friend was a Catholic, then I would go back to where? Catholic religion. And I will used to pray from there. That is 2010, that is 2010. Then 2011, I went in the field. In the field, that is where I was to start teaching. I taught at the school, Nyakasanga Infant in Kasese, was an Islam school. Now you see, it is now full of confusion. Going from Catholic, from Anglican out to Islam. I taught there for 1 year, that is 2011. Then 2012, I joined Kasese Humanist school. Though through that journey, I was like, Anglicans are saying their God is the best. They are opposing. You know, when you oppose, you are disliking what others say. Catholics would say, no, our God is the best. You must worship the images. You know that Mary is the mother of Jesus. So that story was confusing. Then Anglican was saying that no, Allah is the best. So everyone to go in heaven, you must convert Islam. So I had a lot of questions with few answers. So I was like, which religion is the best? At least I've passed through all the religions, Catholics, Islam, born again, and Anglican. Those are 4, and they are the major religions in Uganda. So I was like, amongst these ones, which is the best? And which one can I follow? I was like in the middle of the road for choosing what could be the best. Now I learned Kasese Humanist primary school. To me, it was my first time to hear the word humanism. And it was a strange word, like how can a person live without God? I've grown up from the religion-based family, but it was a bit of confusion. How can a person live without God? How can you live without believing in someone? So it took me some years. I don't say that immediately after joining Kasese Humanist, I had to convert. No, it took me some, and I think 1 year, the whole of 2012 and part of 13. But the good chance, Kasese Humanist had a library whereby it had secular books. And on top of that, we had humanism lesson. It was there every Wednesday after lunch. And then being a teacher and a youth, so the head teacher told me, now Phiona, you are still young, you are the one to teach humanism. I was like, how can I? How will I lie children that there is no God when I know that God is there? How? So it was hard for me. Yeah. I was teaching upper classes, that is P5 to P7. So, and it was compulsory for every teacher to join. And surprisingly, was like, since Friday, since this lesson is for teacher Phiona, another lesson will be for teacher Solomon, another lesson will be for another teacher. So we had timetable whereby you would choose a topic, then you go teach it fully to the children. So it was hard for me, but I had to pick a courage and I started teaching it. Though I was like, I'm lying to these children. I should tell them the truth that God is there. Deep in me, because now since I want a job, I should not leave the job. So let me pretend to be one. So it was 1 year. Every Wednesday, you'd go in library, you choose a topic, you get enough information that you'd give children. And at the end of the term, humanism was examined. So imagine you've been giving wrong things, now you want to mark them, see if they are right. And it was not that easy. We taught 1 year, half year, then at the end of the day, I found that now through reading different books, And Mr. Robert is my mentor. Mr. Wamba Robert was there for us. There was another head called Indianabo David. Those two people, they played a big role in some of the teachers who wanted to be humanists. And that is 2013, I think, in the middle of 2013, then I denounced my religion. I said, no, they have got enough proof. If someone asks me, why did you devote, why did you change the religion? Why did you denounce the religion? I had enough to explain. That is 2013. And I'm very happy. I haven't regretted. I'm still moving. Thank you.
Wow, that's very impressive. And of course, when you're talking, I want to listen because one, you are frequent, you are accurate, you speak from the heart and from the experience you have, and you being a teacher, you are articulate. That's what you say. I was looking for that word. You are very articulate. It's very admirable. Now, there are things which run into my mind. One, you go into a Muslim school, and studying for 4 years in a Muslim school where they're putting on a hijab and the veil and all this kind of thing. And of course, you are reading through their scriptures. Their book is called the Quran. And we are seeing a few things which they do about women. And of course, you have been from the Anglican background. Then there's the Catholicism part of it. Then there's the born again part of it. Are there things which you observed in your journey of religion that you thought were against women's rights?
Yeah, when we go to Islam, like it was girls, the good chance. I never had a chance to pray with men. It was just girls' school. So girls were not given chance, like the dressing style. For example, say you must put on long things. You must veil your head. You must. So there were a lot of don'ts, and the do's were you don't do this, don't do this, don't do that. So it was like the rights of women were not given equally. For example, how can you force someone on the dressing code? You have to put on this. Then during prayers, separate from men, because women in Islam are still inferior, seen as inferior. They are not given that high top grade that you be equal with men. They are still seeing that women are the sinners, are not right. For example, I may not say this, but there are other don'ts about women in Islam. When you are in periods, you don't do this. You are sinful. A lot, so they are still taking women as the inferior and that they are sinners. They are the impurity, so they are not pure. And the human being, a woman is a mother. I would say that is the mother of that man, but is still seeing that that woman is impure. So there is no difference between men and women in religion. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Now, it's very interesting. I'll talk a little about Islam, and of course, this is your interview. I went to Islamic University in Uganda. I was there for 2 years, and I saw how Islam treats women as less equal to men. When I was at IU, as they call it, the Islamic University in Uganda, I was studying law, but I had to abandon it. We had a stream of about 40 lawyers. We are very few. We are the pioneers of the law school at IU. That is 2003. I was there. You can imagine the years. Because after university, after Makerere, for my first degree in economics, I crossed to law, but I chose a different university. And I was working, so I was an evening student. But look here at the point I'm making. You sit in a class with ladies because now I was mature. Others a bit younger than me. They are maybe 19, 20. I was about 27, maybe, or 26. I don't remember a bit well. And then you were not supposed to shake hands with the lady. You were in the same law school. You're not supposed to shake hands. Number two, you're not supposed to speak proximity like you were near me. She must be far away from you. Number three, when we are sitting in class, they are on the extreme end. There's the side they sit on, and there is the side men and boys sit on. So I thought that was really not fair for us to be separated from girls and to make girls look inferior. Like there is a surat, I think it's called a surat, where they say that a woman's brain is a third of a man's brain, not even a half. That it is in their book, in their so-called holy book. I read Islam, I read Arabic. Those are two things I said, thank you so much, IU, for teaching me. They taught me Arabic, they taught me Islam, and I passed. Now, and of course, I was bored, I left the university because I couldn't continue this kind of nonsense in that university. But look, they are saying that a woman is inferior, even intellectually, to a man. When she is in her menstruation, she shouldn't actually go to church. No, it's called a mosque. She must even be at the back. When she's menstruating, she cannot fast, for example. She's exempted. She's dirty. She's not clean. At the same time, a man wants sex with this dirty woman. I find it very ironical that this religion treats women as inferior, but at the same time, they think they must give them children. It's very interesting and very confusing. Now, going back to religion again, you have said your challenges and the gaps you saw. Now, you talked about teaching humanism, which is very interesting. Are there things which, as you taught humanism, you thought you disagreed with during your process of leaving religion to humanism? Are there things like, for example, you say, why are humanists promoting such and such thing? I'm using the word promoting in quotes.
Yeah.
That initially, as we were teaching, are there things like you said, no, I think this is not right. And until when, with the time, you came to agree that maybe the humanists are right. Are there things which you disagree with humanism as you were teaching earlier on?
Okay. Come back to the lessons. I've forgotten to tell you that even I studied for Bugema University. My
Okay.
diploma and degree. And
Okay,
that is
yes. That's very good.
advent. Are you getting me?
I get you. I was following you. I follow your page. I know you graduated from that university. I have a degree. We haven't talked about that, but we're going to talk about that later on. Yeah.
That is
Continue.
Bugema. And Bugema being the Adventist school. Adventists also they have don'ts, a lot of don'ts.
They are very
Standing
strict.
Friday, then we would leave the university at 3 because the Sabbath has started. Then on Saturdays, no reaching at the campus. Remember that we had courseworks, we had the other work to do we had discussions. For example, we're having exams on Monday, and on Monday they don't want you to go to university to discuss. And it was a bit of challenging. Then you'd go somewhere, you call your fellows, come and find me in a certain place, then you do some discussion. So that one also I put aside. Then when I go to teaching humanism was I would say that it is fun. For example, it has a lot of questions, and children would ask us a lot of questions. For example, would ask you, what is humanism? And here is me, has no idea. So I would do. To me, as I understand humanism, I take it as a lifestyle. For example, I want to live in this way. I don't want to be questioned. I don't want to live in fear. So I would tell children, humanism is just a lifestyle, like how your parents are Catholics. That is how they want to live, but they have their reason why they are. So even me being a humanist, and I have, that is my lifestyle, I have the reasons why I am a humanist. Back to you, though you are, and if we would not force children to be humanists or to be non-believers. The only thing we teach them, you teach them, we teach them, and of course we would say that there are two types of humanism. There is this secular humanism, then there is this religious humanism. Which one do you want? And both of them, like when I say secular humanism, is doing good. So I would, to bring children to the class, I would tell them how humanism means doing good without fear. For example, if you found someone needed, how will you help him or her? Someone is sick. Will you, when your parent or one of your person you are staying with is sick, would you need to pray for him or her? I would do, of course, humanism is full of questions. You say, no, before you do anything, take that person to the hospital, because science and religion, they are apart, they cannot correspond. So praying for him, no, take him to the hospital. So there were a lot of questions and answers. At the end of the day, we told that there is this topic of environment. Environment, I would say now everyone needs a good environment. And here we say humanists or humanism is doing good without fear or what? If you plant trees, you are helping the community to get firewood, to get enough rain. So at the end of the day, children had to understand what humanism is, and they ended up saying that no, it is good to be a humanist. And it was examinable every end of, I mean, it is still examinable up to now. Every end of term, a teacher, for example, I was a class teacher P6, I would sit in the computer lab and I set questions on what I've taught throughout the term. Since I've taught on this topic, which questions would I ask? And at the end of the day, children would pass. And I'm sure that the children we taught in 2013, 14, 16, they are doing well outside the community. They are preaching about humanism. They are true humanists. And we are still doing it without regretting and getting tired. Thank you.
Wow, that is amazing. I mean, I wish in the 80s when I was going to school, I went to a humanist school. I just wish, because what you are doing is amazing. I taught myself how to think. Yes, my grandparents helped me to think. My father helped me to think. But looking for books to search and read on your own, it was more of a personal labor, a personal effort. I labored so much to discover. Me, as a child, I was anxious, I was curious. But not everyone was like me. Not many children actually are curious about the region, about world views. Now, I love your school, I should say, and I commend you for the good job you have done. Because honestly, if you are teaching students to balance, to hear humanism as an alternative worldview, as I define it as a philosophy, as a paradigm shift, as a way of looking at the world in a different dimension, in a much more freer dimension. What I've loved even more is you telling them that, look, humanism is also religious humanism, but also secular humanism. It is a fact. Though now, today we are running away from religious humanism and say, no, we are going to be secular humanists, because there's no one can be religious at the same time saying I'm a humanist. But for young children, I believe it's a good approach to say, look, some people are religious, but they are humanists. To me, to children, that's a good thing. But of course, to adults, you say, no, there's no one can be a Muslim and then a humanist. Now, coming to that, I know you are heading one of these schools you are going to give me the accurate title you have, but I think you are an HM. Now, are there incidences where you have seen teachers, for example, in your school, not being humanistic enough? Are some of these teachers still religious, having religious studies? Because I know, of course, that it's not a requirement to teach in a humanist school. And now my question comes, what do you do as a head teacher to ensure that teachers don't bias their pupils, their students? Because me, I was biased by my teachers. I went to
Yeah.
strictly Catholic schools. I went to strictly Catholic schools and Christian schools. And I tell you, my teachers were one of the worst teachers when it comes to religion. They were intelligent as teachers, but they are promoting biases, including at law school. I was being taught by religious people, including at LDC, Lord Vomit Center, to become an advocate. I was being taught by professors who are religious. Now, what do you do as a head teacher in a school having religious teachers and you want them to behave humanistically? What do you do?
Thank you. Every year, when we are beginning a year, Mr. Robert Wamba, the school director, always call for refresher courses. Like when we are recruiting new teachers, like this, the term is beginning like next week. We always have refresher courses whereby our director and the head teacher and other teachers always try to teach what the norms of the school. For example, if the school is a non-religious school, so what you should teach should be on that pace. Teach them, don't brainwash them that the school is an evil school, the school is bad. Don't hear what they are saying. So always have refresher courses about the don'ts and the do's of the school. So when the term begins, the teacher who feel like the teacher who feels like is ready to work with us, will work with us. The one who's still doubting, still we allow him or her, but in the process, of course, being a non-religious, it is a gradual process. You cannot come from one day and say, you know what, I've denounced religion. No, it is a long process. So in the process of teaching and reading and us having those humanism lessons, that teacher will end up knows the truth that no, I've been in the wrong way, let me engage. And those who refuse, we give them chance. We give them chance and they teach in the school. For example, we teach CRE in schools,
Yeah,
RE, religious education. So you find that that is examinable. We allow them. We don't tolerate. We tolerate everyone to be in the school, regardless of his or her religion. But those who want to change, they change. Those who don't want, they don't, they don't. And the children that we are teaching, some are coming from Christianity, others are coming from Islam. We allow them. So our school is inclusive. It allows every kind of religion in school, but it is our work to teach them what is right and tell them what is wrong. At the end of the day, it's them to decide where they want to belong. If they want to remain Catholics, they want to remain Islam, if they want to remain Anglicans, we don't force them. We leave them, and those who want, and still we have humanism club, whereby if you feel like you want to be a humanist, you are free to join the club. And once you are in the club, there are a lot of goods you are getting from there. So the children, they have their rights. We don't force children that it must be by force, by what? No, we don't. But it is a gradual process. It takes at least a year, 2 year until they know the truth. When they know the truth, they are free to join. Thank you.
That's wonderful, Fiona. You as a teacher, of course, of course, a degree holder and all this kind of experience. You are very good at answering questions. I wish I could have more Fionas on the set, more women like you on the set. Now, going into that,
Mm.
I've seen you for about 10 years, I think, but definitely I've never interviewed you. I'm a very, very private person too. I normally look at people and observe them. I've been observing you for the last 10 years, Fiona, and I've been impressed by what you do. Now going into charity, but before I go into charity, I always wonder. I'm a man, but I always wonder how non-believing women cope with men. Now, this is going to be like private, but I always ask it privately, and I've never asked
Yeah.
you this question, though I've been meeting you and seeing you. Uh, do you find men intimidated when you tell them, I don't believe in God, or like I'm a humanist, I'm secular? Do you find them intimidated? Do you find them like fearing you, or you go along well with them? I don't know. How is it working out for you?
Thank you. I will talk about the father of my children. He's a
Mm,
Catholic. And
mm,
being a Catholic, when I got to see him, I think it was 2014, and I told him the truth. No, I didn't tell him the truth because no, I didn't. We didn't talk much about the religion. The only thing he told me, I want to marry you in the church. So we had to go
mm.
in church and wed. So I asked him where. I told him that I'm a Catholic and my mom is a true Catholic who is a leader in that church. So before I marry you, we need to go to church. So I was like, what will I tell him? So I had to play around. I said, no, we haven't known each other so much. No marriage in the church. And of course, he agreed. So we stayed together. He questioned a lot of questions. Asked, why did you change to be that? It was like, and their family got to know me through my page. Say, where does that woman teach? The school is called Humanist. What is the meaning of humanist? So the husband was like, to protect, of course, you have to protect your loved one. So I was like, no, it is just a school there. They gave it a name. So they had a lot of questions. They asked me. So I was like, choose. But me,
Mm.
there is no way I will change. And he's very aware of it, that I'm non-religious, and we just go with it like that. We just said, no, if you want to stay together, let us leave religion aside. Love a person, not the religion is in. After all, you were a Catholic and I was not a Catholic. I had never been a Catholic. So how will you change me? How will you put me in your church? So we ended up that story there. And me, I don't always relate myself with men mostly. On the women's side mostly, and the teachers I teach with. And of course, my director is non-religious and his fellows. So I don't have a problem with it.
Now that's wonderful, and that's extremely exciting. You know, as I said, it's rare for our viewers watching us wherever you are in Africa. It's rare to find a person, a lady who says I'm an atheist openly. It's rare. That's why you see we bring Phiona here and others, a few others, to share their, I call them testimonies, because they are rare species, if I use that word. It's not easy to find them. And of course, it's also challenging for a husband who is religious to fall in love with a non-religious woman. Because now, for me, it's the reverse. We have got issues always. When your partner is gone to church, and for you, you don't go to church. Really, haven't you, Fiona, haven't you been called a devil worshipper, for example, by your in-laws
Very
or other
true.
people?
They do. Some people say that we do sacrifices. And look at,
Mm,
like, I will give you a short story. When we started teaching in Muhocha, that branch, and it
mm,
was humanism was just a new word in the community. So what the whole community was like, that school, that small school that has begun there, it is a devil worshipper school. If you take your children, they will sacrifice them. There is now, our school have a small grass thatched house. So now that school, it has that car room. It has a huge snake which is in that room. So if you go there, your children will be sacrificed and eaten by the snakes. So part of the community had to refuse to give us children. Then another thing, like I have money and I've gone to a certain shop to buy something. They would refuse our money. So no, take back your money. Your money is devilish. You get it from the waters. Now, who doesn't want money? Who, if you know that in the water there is money, then why do you die poor? Why can't you all of us go in the water and fetch that money which is kept under the water? So it took us 1 year. We would not buy anything from the shop around our community. They would say their money is rubbish. Then some parents say, no, we cannot take our children there. Then others would come to prove where that snake is. And being new there, they would say, Madam Head Teacher, would like you to help us and take us through the school premises. You go and open every room in the school. Of course, it was very easy for me. I would go and open all the classes, all the rooms in the school, and they go back asking, no, we have not seen the snake there. After knowing that they were saying there was snake, we opened that room. It is nearby road. We opened it. We would open it from morning, evening, then we close it in the evening. Back to my in-laws. For them, up to now, they still know that I'm a devil worshiper. That woman, that woman, that woman. And back to my family. My brothers are pastors. I have like 3 pastors. They are in northern Uganda. My sister is also among those people. So they called me, said, Phiona, come here and explain to us. It was a family meeting. So I went there, I explained, I talked about myself. Few believe it, and others up to now, they never believe. They still know that. Even I told my mom, my mom is aged and is in the village. So whenever I get little money, I do support him. So now, you mom, you are still getting money from that girl. That money is evil. Don't get it. And of course, a parent will always be a parent. A mother will never abandon her children. So after hearing those words, he tells, but Fiona, what do I always hear? Where do you get that money from? Of course, I explained. I say, no, I work, I do what? I'm a teacher. So they don't believe. Some believe, others they don't. And I just leave it like that. After all, they will not chase me, they will not harass me. They talk in my absence when I'm with them, they don't. Yeah.
Quite interesting, Fiona. I mean, you are amazing. You have an amazing story, especially because I share it with you. I've been called devil worshipper. I know people who are watching my arc. You also think that this is the side of the devil. People watching my arc here on the T-shirt, not knowing that it's from Kemet, which is antiquity of Africa. It is 6,000 years old, but people are going to say, "Oh, that's the symbol of a devil worshipper." Because people are ignorant, honestly. People need to be educated. They are very ignorant. Now, I know the pain you go through when your in-laws think you're a devil worshipper by virtue of saying, I don't believe in God. And because they're going to say, oh, I think she must be sleeping around with men. She must be loose. She must be, they must give you so many tags just because you don't go in the church. But away from that, we have 16 minutes to go, and we're going to talk about something which you do that is so important. But meanwhile, I want to encourage everyone watching us, please, to continue watching Phiona and others on this talk show. Please subscribe to our Facebook page and, of course, our YouTube channel, which is Humanist TV Africa. Please do subscribe when you're watching us for the first time to be able to continue getting these conversations. Now, in the studios today is Phiona Ngabirwe, Phiona, and the program is Humanist Interviews. Now, the lady you see there, Phiona, is a teacher, a graduate with a diploma, a degree, a certificate. She has had a journey, which is a beautiful journey because she's impressive. Not many women basically fight that battle to stop in senior 4, go to a certificate, then move to a diploma, then to a degree. It's a journey. That's commendable. I really salute you because you have invested in education. You are an ambassador for the girl child who is a good example to emulate, to say you can begin humbly and get a degree and still be a good lady in society. Now, away from that, you are known for your activism, you are known for your projects, you do amazing work. I and my producer and the team at Humanist Association, at UWASO, Uganda Humanist Association, we visited your area, we visited your project, we saw the women you work with. I know at your home you take care of orphans. I always see you doing pad making projects, pad distributing projects. I see you rearing chicken and paying school fees. I think there is a nurse, there is a student who is in a medical school we are paying school fees for, and you are doing lots of good work. I'm just drawing attention to our viewers who are seeing for the first time that the person you see in the studio has done charity. She's promoting lots of good things. She's empowering women, she's empowering children, she's empowering young girls. Phiona, tell us, where do you get this motivation to go and do charity, to help others? Why do you help others? Why do you waste your time helping others?
Thank you. I'll go back to my background where I was born. Telling you that I was born in a polygamous family. You know that a polygamous family, they are children who are more loved, who are relatively loved, and who are less loved. So I think that our children, my brothers, and they said that
The
they were
producer, as you speak, as Fiona speaks, please show us her photos as she speaks about her works. Please continue.
so I think that growing up, my siblings, my sister, my brothers were less loved, and most of us we studied through getting hustling for ourselves. Like my brothers, at our place we planted banana. We had banana plantation. So every weekend, my brothers would take some bunches to the school where they studied from. So those bunches were for they would count them as their school fees. So they were hustling. And in the morning you wake up. So we are like staying in the village with only mom. So our dad would come over the weekend, like Saturday, and goes back on Sunday. So we'd find that most of the work our mom was the one doing it. You wake up in the morning, you dig, you work in shamba, you are in cows. So we did a lot of work to get school fees. So after senior 4, I sat down. So I was like, no school fees for you. I got a volunteer who helped me to study in the college. I studied in the college. Someone paid for me. I became a teacher. After becoming a teacher, I taught. Then I got someone to pay for me for diploma and degree. I didn't use my personal money. So in that, I said no. Being in a school, seeing children, mostly girls suffer. In my community, most girls are forced into their marriages. Like a child of 14, 13 is forced into marriage because cannot afford school fees. So I said, no, since I've made it partly, why can't I come and support this young girl who needs to be a good person in the future, who needs to be someone in the future? Of course, without going to school, you cannot be a responsible person in the future. So no, I sat down I said, how can I help these girls? What can I do? How can I be their voice? So that's how we began Buzwa Women Empowerment Group Center. It is a group for empowering young mothers, empowering elderly, and empowering girls. Help them to be in school, to learn skills, to start up small scale businesses in order to cater for their families. And these young girls, how could I help them not to be in school? One,
Yes, Fiona. There we can see your work. We can see they make lots of arts and craft. Of course, I've been there. I've seen what you do. Wonderful things with women. You have empowered lots of women in Kasese region. They make lots of good crafts, and of course, I know that actually these crafts are sold in Uganda, but also beyond. I should tell you, Fiona, if you can hear me, that actually I've seen your products in the UK. You may be surprised, but of course, you know that they are here. I've seen your products in the UK. I wanted to tell you, I was in a shop and I saw your products in the UK being sold. So you have made lots of progress for these women. We have changed their lives. These products, I've seen some of them in the UK, and I was proud to be able to see them in the UK being sold. But of course, I knew where they were coming from. So Fiona and her team are doing lots of good work back home in Uganda. She's encouraging these women to be productive. They get together, they raise money together, they invest together, and they make these products and they share the profits, but also plow it back into the business to be able to move their business forward. Of course, they've been giving out piglets, they have been teaching women how to cook for functions, special cooking. They do that kind of catering, they have their own t-shirts. They are very well organized. Fiona has a well organized team of women. She does take care of children through rearing chicken, and she sells these hens. People, of course, she sells eggs and all that. She takes care of animals. She rears cows, goats, and all that. She gives out pads, sanitary towels, and pads to girls in her school. And of course, menstruation hits hard, and many children basically don't complete education. And Fiona is always there for them to support them with sanitary towels. And you see, her team is very happy. You can see Fiona there with her team. I met those ladies, so I know they are real. I was there. I met that team with my team at Uganda Humanist Association. We visited them. We took those photos, so we know they are real. They are doing good work. So Fiona is one of those ladies who does very good work, which is commendable, and I want to encourage all donors, all good wishers to please support her work. She's doing lots of good work, encouraging these women to save money, to share the profits, to have hope. Many of these women are widows. Many of these women are single mothers. Many of them have useless husbands. I call them very useless husbands. Then she leads the Bizoha Women Empowerment Group. They are doing a lot of good work. So Fiona, I want to commend you because I know your project doing tailoring. That's why I'm speaking on your behalf, because you went off. Of course, I knew the internet was disturbing you, so I had to take over and explain what you do. Now, we have seen all these things that you do. Back to you, Fiona. Then it's back to the studio with Fiona to give a backup. Now, I've spoke what I know about your projects, and of course, I've spoke what you know about it, and you are helping so many women, so many young girls. I saw a girl who is doing nursing, and we're paying her school fees. I always see these appeals you make out people to support you. Fiona, I want you to tell the viewers, the donors all over the world, to make an appeal for support, but also tell them how they can reach out to you.
okay, thank you. My donors, the only thing I can request you to do for me on behalf of other people is to support girl child education. Give child what a girl child the only gift you can give her is education. Once girls are all in school, those useless husbands and men, we shall leave them behind. And for us, we go forward. You know, they are still saying that women, African girls are inferior, are useless, but want to prove them wrong, that we can do better in all sectors, being in medical, being in, in engineering, being in teaching. In all things we are doing well, want to prove them wrong, that for us, we can do better when we girls are given enough education. Support them through paying for them school fees, not only as a humanist, not only saving, helping me to help my girls, but also the entire world or Africa, even in Uganda, support girl child education. If you need me, you can find me on Facebook, my page, that is Ngabirwe Phiona. Then if you want to visit our activities, check a page of Zua Women Empowerment Center. You find all our activities. If you want to know more, you can check on Kasese Humanist Primary School. We are there. You find me there. You find Wambai Robert will help you show how you can help girl child education through paying school fees and giving out other things. My email is ngabirwefiona@gmail.com. Thank you for watching.
Fiona, I request the producer to put your email there. Please, producer. The name is Ngabirwe Phiona. Of course, we have it. ngabirwefiona@gmail.com. I think I get you. ngabirwefiona@gmail.com, because I want people to watch this. Remember, Fiona, this program will be watched 10 years from today. It will be watched next year and the year after next year, because it remains there. It's a record we are making. I want people to reach out to you 10 years from today. So I'm requesting my producer to put your email there, ngabirwefiona@gmail.com. That's your email, I think.
That is.
That's your email.
My
That's
email.
your email. Okay, now,
yeah.
Going forward, we're going to conclude this, and I'm happy I had you here. And of course, one day I'm going to get you back on the set, because you made my life easier. You made, I didn't even explain too much to you to get my questions, which is very impressive. Now, I have to say one thing. I want to have more women like you
Thank
in
you.
Uganda. And I want you to have, you, of course, you are models for our children. I have 3 daughters personally. And I've always said, I don't want my daughters to marry useless twats for husbands. I don't. They rather stay. In fact, I don't want my daughter to marry. I'm one person, I was speaking on TV. I don't want my daughters to marry at all, because men are hopeless. Now, if my daughters can marry a man, I will allow that. But if a stupid man to marry my daughters, I refuse that. Now, and people like you, Fiona, are the one who are going to promote girl child empowerment. For women to know they can always take the best men in the crowd, not to go with every stupid man because they have a trouser. There are many hopeless men out there, and I wish my daughters don't get one. The other stay single, the other have women for lovers than having twats for husbands. And that's one thing I want to encourage women out there to look up to you and say, I think a woman can achieve, a woman can organize, a woman can go an extra mile. Because women like you, Fiona, you motivate women to become better. That's why I want you to continue doing the good work to inspire young people like my daughters to be able to stand on their ground and say, this is what a woman should be. A woman must not be a property for a man. Now, Fiona, we have 1 minute to go. I want you to give us your parting shot. What's your parting shot as we conclude this show?
I want to conclude saying that thank you for hosting Mr. Kato. But the problem, the time you have given is not that much. Next time we extend it at least 2 hours.
1 hour, and because it was interesting, we shall have you again.
We have a lot to share, but I'm very happy to be here, and I'm proud humanist. And next time, if there is a chance, don't let me out. because I want to show that the world that even women can be non-believers, even women can do better in all sectors. And mostly I end up saying support girl child education. Once girls are educated, the whole world will be great and will be at peace. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Phiona. Phiona, I have to promise you on behalf of Humanist TV Africa that we are going to invite you again. In fact, we shall have you for debates on morality, women's rights, on many other topics. We shall invite you as a guest for debate because you're a good debater, you are articulate, you are educated, you are empowered. We are going to continue inviting you for different topics. Thank you so much, Phiona, for making the time. And of course, thank you so much, Dennis Bongole, for producing this show. Bongole was at your school. Bongole is at your project, the guy behind the production here. He knows you. We are there.
Yeah.
We came with him. So, Dennis, thank you so much for producing this show. And of course, Phiona, thank you so much for being a wonderful guest. I've promised you, we shall bring you back on the hot seat. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.